And welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's official after show for Project Runway. Today we are breaking down all the designs in episode 6, all the fabulous cocktail dresses and not so fabulous cocktail dresses, so you don't want to miss it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh yes, boom baby, baby, boom! It's Friday, which means it's time for the Project Runway official after show on AFTERBUZZ TV. How are you, Michelle Uberreste?
I'm doing good.
That's good. You're looking very. I love that you're in a bit of colour today. You've got. I mean, it's
Grey?
for grey. Yeah, I was like, it's almost got a khaki type vibe. A new look for you. Yeah.
Thanks.
So tell everyone where they can find you today.
All right, you guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Uberreste.
Well, there you go, and you can find me on Instagram at Babic and then on Twitter at Babic with an underscore after Babic. But let's talk about the episode. What'd you think?
I was excited at first.
Yeah.
And then Runway comes and I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, I agree with you because I always love, because I'm a glam person. So I treat every day like a cocktail party, pretty much.
You do, it's true.
It is,
true.
so I love it, and especially that's part of my favourite thing in fashion is when I go to cocktail parties, is playing fashion police.
Well, yeah, and I think you get, it's really an opportunity to be able to dress, like not everybody can, go on the red carpet and wear these fabulous gowns and stuff. So cocktail is really like an opportunity for you to get creative and, be the center of attention. So I think you can do like some really awesome glamorous stuff with it. And I just felt like, where was that?
Totally. I mean, there were a couple that I was impressed with, but overall, and I don't think it's a hard challenge. You've got $300.
Yeah, you got a lot of money. You it's a dress, so you're not doing pants or anything. You can. I feel like there's a lot you can do, and and I think Zach mentioned it too. He's like, I was really disappointed by the runway, you guys.
Yeah, and I actually think $300 is. You can buy a beautiful dress for $300 for a cocktail party. So if you've got that for materials, I wasn't understanding because none of them looked, except for Lorenzo's.
Oh yeah.
None of them looked, like.
It's what you do with the fabric too.
Yeah. So what did you think in the workroom when they were preparing? Who were you liking? What did you think about all that?
Well, Laurence.
Yeah.
Just seeing the technique up close and everything.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I get excited about.
Yeah.
What else? Okay, so we have like Natalia's bought this kind of pearl and beaded fabric she's really excited about, and it's just looking very kind of like a basic evening gown to me in the workroom.
I agree,
And Cornelius, I guess they were buddies, like they
Yeah.
applied together, maybe they knew each other before too, and he's kind of like, this isn't really you, I don't know where you should go, and she's kind of getting mad about that, but I think he was just trying to be a friend and be like, hey, I already know you. I know it wasn't edgy, and I feel like she does kind of more of an edgy, look.
I agree with you.
And so, Tim comes in and says, no, it's not cool. And I feel like she should have added, maybe it's in the silhouette or, the fabric I think could have been fine.
Yeah.
But it's just in the way that she used it was disappointing both times.
Yeah.
I mean, there was just a lot of weird things going on. I was excited about Aaron's in the workroom too, but I don't think it lived up to what I was hoping.
Oh God, no. I actually, when we bring it back to Natalia, I really do believe that she needs to go back to school. And we did say that last week with Alex. I think what's happening with some of the designers, and in this episode, I believe it actually worked in Jen's favour, but they're forgetting who they are as designers, and they're trying to copy it and watching what their neighbours doing, and but it's like you need to just focus on yourself and what you can bring to the table. And I think that's what it's the lack of self-confidence she has within herself and the trust of her aesthetic. And I believe Jen's also got that lack of self-confidence because I think she kind of ripped off
I just feel like
an
that's
Aaron
out
design.
there. Like, designers do that. Like, it's not like, I think someone said in the very end, one of the designers was like, Aaron didn't invent this, like, technique.
True,
she didn't.
yeah.
Yes, it's kind of her thing and stuff, but, like, I don't think that's a super signature that no one else could do it. And then, maybe she did, maybe she didn't. I don't know. I'm just saying it's out there. Like, it's not your thing.
Totally. Well, the workroom wasn't as interesting in this episode because I like the teams because then you get the drama and all of that. But everyone was just kind of doing their own thing.
Tim came in and really said to a couple people, you need to start over, and then they didn't come back with anything.
Yeah.
They just lost it. And I also feel like you know, like you were saying, some of these designers don't know who they are. Sometimes it's hard when your aesthetic is so, you know, specialized sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
To get a challenge that doesn't lend itself to that. But I feel like as a good designer, you should be able to consider, like, okay, if my customer was to go to a cocktail party or whatever the challenge is, what would they be wearing? And it might be weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, but at the same time, you know, she's made very cool stuff in the past. So
Totally,
I'm like,
yeah.
there was a disconnect for me too. I didn't see the.
I actually really liked it. I've never thought of it that way. I feel like Oprah never thought of it that way. But you should think of your girl in every single challenge.
Right.
Like, so for example, if I'm just going to use someone who doesn't particularly speak to me as someone that would go to a cocktail party and wear the typical dress, Ellen DeGeneres.
Okay, yeah.
So for example,
sure.
if Ellen DeGeneres is your client, and you're thinking, okay, I've got a cocktail dress.
Yeah, and she comes to you and says, design something.
Because that's
for
your
me.
yeah. And then you're like, you know, you would go different. You go with the pantsuit. You know, you design around Ellen, and that's same. So I would think about my girl and aesthetic, and obviously, and even in like a plus size challenge, I would even go as far as to be like, okay, my girl gained weight and put on some weight.
Yeah.
I was now in, you know, a different size. What would she want to wear?
Exactly.
So I would always put that into, because that's everything. Who you set, like your girl and your vision.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you get in the workroom, it's just so overwhelming, and you want to stay in the game, and you know, you're stuck with the fabrics you got at Mood too. So she got this stuff, like loved it in Mood, and it's like beaded fabric.
Yeah.
You can find different ways to use it, but you are kind of stuck with what you've got, and sometimes you get this kind of like creative block. So I get that, but I think a lot of designers aren't using their brains. They're just going.
Yeah,
They're just getting
yeah.
in there and freaking out and trying to get something on the model, and that's what I'm seeing on the runway.
And I don't think it's like about, like, and again, I just think this is maybe, listen to me, I feel like I've got some expert advice here, but I would think that as well. So for example, if I've got, you're not a pastel girl. Michelle Uberreste is not too pastels.
Right.
But if I've got pastels and that's the only thing I've got, I was like, okay, how would I work, if you're my client, Michelle Uberreste in pastels for a cocktail? Like, you would just do your best.
Yeah, you just do your best.
Okay, and that's like,
I mean, you can use your techniques that are your
Yeah.
signature. You can use shapes that are your signature. I mean, yeah, it is more difficult, but it can be done.
Yeah.
So
just look at it, like, nothing's harder than the unconventional week when you got to use, you still get to choose your materials.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, let's start breaking down the designs. I'm ready to have a look at all of them. We're actually going to start off with my favourite. And I think we both agree this week that, I think Lawrence absolutely smashed it out of the park.
Exactly.
What did you think?
I mean, this, like, so they opened the show with this, and how can anyone follow this up? And I think Zach called it, like, or maybe it was Nina, like the Bentley of little black dresses, and that's like the perfect description.
Yeah.
I just think it's like everything about it is perfect. The proportion, the length. She's got the inspiration in there. It's dramatic, but it's also like kind of withdrawn because it's all in black, so it's more subtle.
Yeah.
It's dramatic. It's absolutely perfect. I just think, even down to like the little, you know, black beads that she chose to put on the couch part.
Yeah.
And you know how it's like, it's more covered in the front,
Yeah.
and the open back is the sexy part. So I feel like even almost any woman of any age could wear this.
And the length as well, because it's so
length is
appropriate.
good.
Yeah. Do you know what I actually, when I saw this, I have a little bit of a problem with Kate Middleton's style.
Okay.
I don't know why, because I just think, you know, yes, it's very polished, it's very, you know, refined.
But it's boring.
It's boring, and it's
Yeah.
not cool.
Yeah.
And I think you are, like, you know, because Princess Diana, she went shorter. She really was, she's one of my fashion, inspirations.
I think for a lot of people.
Yeah. And I looked at this and I thought, why can't you, Kate Middleton, go to a cocktail party wearing this?
Right.
Because it's still so appropriate, but sexy and young and cool.
Yeah, I just, everything about it to me is perfect, and it's sophisticated, and it's edgy at the same time.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about it. I think someone like Kate Middleton could wear it to make it an edgier look, but then Rihanna could happily wear it, and she would, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she would just pair it with like some fishnets or something.
Yeah, I mean, so I just gave it a 9.5.
I gave it a 9.5 too, and the only reason it wasn't perfect, like, because we're looking at a cocktail party and we're also looking at the runway. So anytime you do all black, it's hard to see the details on the runway. And cocktail, I feel like you kind of want a little sparkle. Or something.
I
But
agree.
I mean, other than that, like, if it was only up to me and it was like no challenge, this to me is a 10 in my mind.
It is, yeah, and structurally as well. That I feel like she's the only one that presents perfectly structured work in the amount of time. And that's what I really look at because I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah, and I think it's a balance of you've got the detail, but it's not overly worked.
Yeah.
You've also got the simplicity, and it's a good balance.
Yeah, even like, you know, Victoria Beckham.
Oh, yeah, for
she,
sure.
oh, by the way, guys, she's designing a line for Target.
Oh, really?
How exciting!
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So that's the newest one to, you know,
Yay.
come out. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
There we go. That's breaking news in fashion. Victoria Beckham for Target. Yeah. But moving on to the next design,
This one is Rick.
which was my least favorite. I hated it.
It really was mine too.
Yeah. Oh, we agree. I don't understand.
I mean, I
yeah.
gave it a higher rating than some of the others just because it was really well made. But the whole thing just looks, I don't know, it really looks like a butcher apron. Except now it's orange
Yeah.
instead of like that copper, you know? And I mean, I think the color makes it even worse than like if this was black or something. But it definitely doesn't say cocktail to me.
No.
It is really well made. It's really like well constructed. But the colors and I don't know, the buttons are very shiny brass and cheap looking, and the zipper in the back. It's not doing anything for me. Like, it's too literal.
It's very vinyl. I don't know why, but I remember
It does look a little vinyl.
my grandma had a vinyl orange couch growing up. And I remember looking at it just thinking, this is disgusting. From a young age, I've always liked, you know, the way things... I remember even like at 3, just thinking in my head, this is really ugly. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I didn't know what that was or what that meant, but I just remember thinking, this is not nice.
Yeah,
and
I was shocked.
And I look at it and I'm like, that's not nice. I don't like that.
Yeah.
And I can't even, you know, 4.5, I gave it. Structurally, it's made. I think that's what saved.
I gave it a 4.
Yeah.
It looks really blocky. It's not like not flattering, but it doesn't feel flattering and
Yeah.
like feminine to me at all. And I mean, it was thoughtful the way he used the grosgrains and the placement of the buttons and everything, but to me it was just so literal. Like, if you would have taken, like, I liked the butcher aprons, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
But they had like more hardware and detail, and they were more of a copper color, and I wish he would have just made it more subtle, like, hi, I'm a dress, with like some of that detail in it, where it was just a nod to it, instead of like super literal.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not understanding it and I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
So I'm moving on.
Okay.
I'm moving on. Yeah, not understanding, I'm not getting it. Let's see who we're moving on to next.
Jenny.
Oh, Jenny, she was the winner, wasn't she?
Yeah.
What do you
Shocked.
think? I was shocked as well.
Shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but I don't see how it can beat Lawrence's
Yeah.
dress at all. And, you know, I get how it kind of goes with the theme of the lounge, and she kind of did this nod to like the 20s, and she, you know, she put a lot of work in, but I feel like the silhouette isn't as like, it is modern, but I feel like it's not quite there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not maybe long enough, or it wasn't quite finished.
Yeah.
And then to me, she's got the satin, which looks tortured.
Yeah, that satin's had a beating, yeah.
I'm like, why didn't the judges like mention this? Because she's kind of top stitching this applique on top. And I'm looking at it even from far away. I am seeing it puckering horribly.
And I'm zooming up to this because that's what I do. Because I zoom up to the photos. Because I'm like, and that's why I'm so obsessed with Lawrence. Because on the TV you can't tell when it's from a distance. But I zoom up. I'm looking at every seam, and it was very averagely made.
It was tortured. It was tortured to death.
Yeah.
I mean, she did a good job, and I think she was thinking more strategically than a lot of the other designers. But I don't see it as the winner.
Yeah, I didn't understand. Sometimes it's so funny. I mean, sometimes you just disagree with the judges. I'm just like, I'm not seeing what you're seeing, judges.
I wish they would do the fan vote again this season, because I feel like everyone would disagree with this.
Same, yeah, I definitely agree. And I that colour, it's always, it's a little bit vomity, you know?
It's okay. Like, I wish it would have been like maybe a lighter champagne.
Yeah.
But I like the styling. I like the makeup and everything.
Yeah. I think she looks super cool.
Yeah.
I really do like it. We are really nitpicking.
Yeah.
But I actually think it's a little too short.
I think it's short too. That's why I said, like, the silhouette. I feel like the flapper kind of old silhouette, it's like a little longer maybe.
Yeah, from the front, I think, like I was saying, it's almost like a bit too much of a gooch. Like, and I'm a short guy. I like the short dress.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm a bit of a Heidi. I'm like, yeah, make it shorter, the better.
Yeah.
But I think it's a little slutty. I don't like that. I don't like to see the gooch.
Some dresses it works, and others it does. It kind of looks like a 90 from here.
Yeah, but no, I gave it a 7. I thought it was a great job, and I did really like it, but it wasn't the winner for me.
Right, no, I think it was good too. It's just in comparison to like Lawrence's amazing Bentley dress, that was like miles ahead of everyone for me. So I'm kind of like being harsh on Jenny, but it was a good job, but I gave it a 6.
Yeah, but definitely some progress from her, because I I found her to be one of the weakest. I think at the moment I find Jenny and Natalia.
I think Jenny's ahead of Natalia. I
Yeah.
think she's becoming a lot more thoughtful, and I think she has a lot more creativity. And it's like you said, Natalia, I think she just needs a little more experience.
Yeah.
And to calm down a little bit.
Calm down, you take his Xanax.
I mean, when, Cornelius was trying to help her out, she's just kind of taking it, like, the wrong way, and stuff. I was like, dude, he's just trying to help you, and she's, like, starting to be like, why are you throwing shade? And, like, we've seen Cornelius throw shade before, but I don't think in this instance he was. Like, I think he was honestly just trying
No, I think we're seeing more authentic Cornelius. After the breakdown with the tears last week, we're kind of seeing the real him, yeah.
Yeah, I think so, too, which I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm good, because I don't understand, because I just think the way I work... I feel like I'm sounding like, oh my God, I'm so good today. But I'm really not. I've got like laser focus. I'm like, okay, what am I doing? Like okay, don't worry about anything else.
If you want to win, you want to stay in, then you really need to like focus
especially
and edit.
I don't know what it is, but I find in stressful situation, I'm a bit of a hot mess in normal situations.
Yeah.
But in like a stressful situation, I'm like, no. Like you can't even think about what your team players are doing. You just have to be in the moment. So yeah.
Well, what could you? Okay, so someone next to you is making a great dress. What are you gonna do about that? You have to make a better dress. So it ultimately comes back to you.
Yeah.
But
boom, baby, boom.
Yeah.
But next we're moving on to Erin. A little bit of a fall from grace.
Yeah.
A bit of a bird vibe.
So I liked the idea of this in the workroom. I thought it was like going to be super
spectacular,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, and when it walked the runway, I was like, And I think it's because of the proportions again. You've got huge fluffy feathers.
Yeah.
It's too covered in the front for me, which I don't always like it to be super slutty, but like I feel like the proportion of the feathers to the covered front is not working, and then in the back it looks like maybe a Victoria's Secret. She's got the wings on. And I think it's just the proportion for me. Like the judges were saying, no, it's the fabric and I like the fabric and I like the feathers and I like them together.
Yeah.
I just don't like the silhouette of the dress. And I think it also ended up too short for the model.
Yeah, I actually don't have it's probably a little bit short. I actually think her biggest mistake was time. I think if she had if she was in her own studio and she had designed this, it would have been brilliant after a week. But I think her plan, because she's got such bold plans, and to try and execute that in the time, she didn't have enough time to really think it through.
But what do you have here? You have a strapless basic dress with some feathers on it.
True, yeah.
So you're not, killing it with construction. I mean, it looks well-tailored or whatever.
Yeah.
You're not, going outside the box anywhere. So really, you could make this in a couple hours and be fine.
Yeah, I kind of do agree with you, but I just, I love the feathers. I'm just such a feather man. I love a feather.
I like the feathers too. I just don't like exactly how they play out. And I think, with the length, it's just so much fluffy on top. You have to balance it out.
Totally, yeah. It's like fluff, and then it's a bit extreme. But we actually said, you know what? I'm actually so glad she had a bit of a fall from grace, because it's important, and not every designer has a moment where they fuck it up.
I think it's good in the middle too.
Yeah.
She's had some success. She knows she's a good designer, but you don't want to let that go to your head. So you kind of want to get checked, and then you can't just skate through. You do have to put in, and the less designers there are each week, the harder the competition gets. It really does, because you can make an awesome dress, but it's just not as awesome as the other two people, and so then you're on the bottom and you're out.
Yeah. So I totally agree with you. So I don't know what I was about to say, but if you're gonna fall from grace, we said good time, because imagine if she's in the semi-finals and everyone else is excellent.
But this could kind of check her so that she returns to like being a little more thoughtful about it. She's usually very good about like stepping back and looking at the design, and so I gave it a 5.
Yeah, I gave it a 5 as well.
I like the concept, but it didn't work.
Yeah, okay, moving on. Let's move on to our next design. Who do we have here, Michelle Uberreste?
Oh, we got Tasha.
Tasha. What do you think of Tasha's look?
I think Tasha. I was so sad.
Why?
Just sad. Because I kind of wanted to see more from her, and I feel like she's been just struggling to keep her head above water every week. And this was like nothing. So Tim came in and said, don't do this. And she's like, okay. I didn't really, prefer what she had in the workroom either, but I think this was just like nothing. It's just a strapless dress. And then she puts the, like a sequin, sash around it, which is weird. It's like a gypsy sash or something. It doesn't go with the dress. And then some like random leather on the bottom. There's like no design here to me. It doesn't make sense. And it feels like kind of a last ditch effort.
Yeah, and I just don't understand it at all because I just like
Yeah.
I can't like you could just go into well, you know one of those knockoff shops and you could get something much better than this for $30 for the
Right,
cocktail
right,
party.
I agree.
And I'm like I'm not understanding. Like a day is actually really good, I think, for a cocktail dress. And you like I don't understand. Like even though it is very simple, but it's not like it's ugly.
It's not effective.
It's
You
not
can be
even- yeah.
simple and effective. This is not effective.
Even if she made it like a dress that we've seen before, a little black dress that we've seen before, at least, and it was nice. At least we could say how it was nice. But this is, we've kind of seen it before, but it's really, really ugly.
I think the sash is the worst part.
Yeah.
And yes, it's good to like put that around the waist.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like she was just, oh, I need glitter. Oh, what do I do? And she was kind of freaking out because Tim comes in
Yeah.
kind of late in the day.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
So you have like 3-4 hours left to do a look and start over. And she kind of just like was like in freak out mode. So,
Yeah.
But you could have taken this little denim dress and you could have made like a sequin shrug to go with it or some kind of other detail or you
Yeah.
know anything else. Really, you could have just saved this dress by just not putting that weird sash on it.
Yeah, and I always laugh. I don't know why, but I always look at her. She seems a little bit slow the way she works. Have you noticed that?
I guess I didn't.
No, I always look back and I'm just kind of like, can you hurry up? Like, 'cause I don't know. I'm like a really analyzer. Like I read, I
Yeah.
go for. And I always she seems to just be working at
may be.
at a speed that's a little bit slower than everyone else. And I'm kind of looking at. I've just noticed that just from when they kind of like do a overall shot and they get
Yeah.
wide shot of everyone working. She seems to be going a bit slow. So I've just noticed that. So I'm kind of like.
That's neither here nor there because some people can be slow. They're just taking their time doing a good job. But
Yeah.
But I feel like in the beginning she was really good. She made these awesome pants and stuff like that. And then in the recent weeks we've just seen kind of like nothing coming
Yeah.
out of her. And I think she was just losing her.
Away.
Yeah.
I feel like they need a bit of like they need like Deepak Chopra to come in and have a bit of a zen moment, just like.
Yeah. I think she was just getting stressed out because
Fair enough. It is stressful.
you don't have well
Yeah.
and then you're like, well, this isn't she originally had kind of this like flowery thing with a light denim skirt and it totally didn't look cocktail or night at all.
Yeah.
It was just like a day picnic look or something. And I agree that wasn't night, but I feel like she just loses her way and then can't like get a grip on it. Yeah.
Because how does the filming work? Do you go back to back? Is it one a week? How do you film? So like, do they have a day off? Because you've been on the show. What?
It's pretty much back to back.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So you film the challenge one day,
Yeah.
the runway the next day,
Yeah.
and then the challenge, and then the runway, and the challenge, and the runway. And you usually don't even get weekends off. But every couple weeks you do get like one day because they want to do like catch up things or like let you like breathe or something. But it is really intense. Like that's
Yeah.
what people don't get it. It's not a weekly thing. Like
'Cause
you
you-
don't have a whole week of chilling and then we're doing a challenge. No, like you are exhausted with 4 hours of sleep, coming off the runway from last challenge, and you're going straight into something else.
Because now I'm understanding it. Because I'm thinking, for the way the viewer looks, we see it
yeah.
once a week. We're like, so we've nicely rested for the rest. We haven't, for the six days, we haven't seen anything. We're like, okay, but it's not like that.
No,
yeah.
not at all.
Yeah.
So, and I think it kind of plays into the drama too, because you're exhausted, you're stressed out, you can't think as clearly. It's not like you're at home in your workroom playing music and like doing your thing. You're like. It's really hard competition.
Yeah, I always say Ariana Huffington says that's her reason to success is sleep your way to the top. You need to sleep yourself, you need to rest.
Yeah.
So then you're the most productive and
Yeah.
you can think straight. So yeah,
It's true.
I feel sorry for them. But moving on, what did you think of this design from Cornelius? Was that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it looks really well tailored, actually.
It does, yeah.
But to me, it looks like brunch. That's the
Brunch.
first thing.
I thought of that as well. Yeah, brunch. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, she looks cool. She looks classy, but she's going to brunch. She's not wearing a cocktail dress. And I actually so last time
Yeah.
Cornelius used this fabric
Yeah.
in a previous challenge. He mixed it kind of with this weird stripe, and I didn't like.
Yeah.
I didn't like it together. But this time he actually had. 2 different color
Yeah.
of the houndstooth, and he was mixing them, and I liked that better, and I
Yeah.
thought it was more interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have been like nighttime, but maybe if he would have used it in a different way. But I feel like this is just too plain now. So I
Yeah.
feel like it's basic and you could get it at Target.
Yeah, I really liked it. Sometimes I look at it, I'm like, oh, does it look a bit tabletop count?
Yeah,
You know,
not
like.
far away, but like it is houndstooth. It's
Yeah,
not
it is.
checkered.
So, but I do really like it. But Brunch at the Beverly Hills Hotel, I see
yeah.
her, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, she's got a bit of Diana Ross vibe. I want
Yeah.
to talk to her. I don't think the model wore it well, but yes, I gave it a 6.5. But I did like it, but I didn't think it was
Yeah, I
cocktail.
gave it a 5.
Yeah, oh, there we go. Moving on, who do we have next in store, Michelle?
This is Natalia. Ooh. Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like her original dress might have been better. To me, there was this weird draping in the front, and I don't know. This wasn't really doing anything for me. I feel like the skirt, the bottom part, the skirt part could have been some part of it, but the top part was a huge mess for me. And again, she's an edgy designer, and I didn't see any of that. I mean, this could be, something cheap, kind of a cheap, weird prom type fabric for me. So I don't know. I gave it a 3, and it doesn't fit well either.
Yeah. A 4. I gave it a 4. And
Okay.
it's funny you said about the prom thing, because that's what I immediately started doing,
Yeah.
is because I'm really bad. I'm naughty.
Do you style for prom?
No, I haven't
Okay.
yet, but oh my God, I'm so bad. I get on Facebook sometimes,
Okay.
and this gets really, really bad. Because to me, I've always been, people judge fashion police and all of that.
Yeah.
But I say it's just, you're judging the fashion. Like, it's not a
Right,
personal
of
thing.
course,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's an art to me, and like you judge an art piece. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So stop, everyone, that's just the way life is. That's my version of art. And I'm not saying, just because I don't like your outfit, I'm not saying that you're not beautiful. It's one outfit, get over it.
Yeah.
And I get really bad because I get onto the, cousins proms, and then friends of the cousin
no.
proms, and then I get into like the really small towns in Canada, and I went on a bit of a crazy binge the other day
Oh,
with
man.
like going to this like town in Canada with 180 people in their prom, and the dresses were just disgusting.
Oh, you're so bad.
And I'm judging the hell out of
This
these
is how you pass your time.
16-year-old girls. That's what I do in my spare time, and I remember seeing that fabric on a dress, and
Yeah.
it reminded me of that. So, yeah. So girls, put your Facebook albums on private from the proms, because you never know. I get like.
Or they can come hire you to style them.
Yeah, I think prom.
Seriously, what is wrong with teenagers? Like, there's
Yeah.
so many cool dresses out there.
I
And when I
know.
see, like, people post their prom pictures, they're just, like,
Saturn.
horrific. Right?
Now they're
and
all.
they're
yeah.
spending hundreds of dollars, and I'm like, this is the picture you're gonna look at for the rest of your life.
My favorite thing is now what they do is they get something made to order from China over online, and it never looks the same as a picture.
I had a bride who
No.
did that. She ordered
Yeah.
a wedding gown from China to measure.
Yeah.
And about 2 weeks away from the wedding, she got it, and she's like, this doesn't even fit me. It's like huge in the chest and tiny in the waist, and the whole thing, it was like a horrible mess. And she's like, can you fix this? And I was like, I don't know if this is fixable.
Yeah. I always say, if you're on a budget, go to David's Bridal, and Vera Wang does a low end, not a lower end, but a more budget friendly thing. And I remember saying to all my friends at school, because I went to a bit of a yuppie school, so they had all the rich girls. I said, honestly, go to David's Bridal and get yourself a Vera Wang.
I feel like
$1,200.
Yeah, I feel like there's affordable stuff out there.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned before, there's plenty of like local designers who will be happy to design and make you a dress and when you're there so they can fit you.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of options. Do not be ordering wedding dresses or prom dresses from China. It's not a good idea. And the fabric too is also like, you look at it in the picture and it's like, oh, that's pretty, and you get it, and it's totally
Never looks the same.
horrible,
Yeah.
It's polyester. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, so I've heard so many horror stories. So women learn from others' mistakes. Yes.
Thanks, Natalia, for getting us off on that.
Okay, yeah.
track.
Moving on, who do we have next? Michelle.
Oh, this is Brick.
Brick, yeah.
Yeah.
I
So-
totally forgot about Bricks, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was one of the better ones. Just because he was using a little more glitter. And I thought there was some interesting style lines going on. He was trying to flatter the body.
Yeah.
I don't think all the seams are successful, but I think that he was a lot more successful than a lot of the people on the list. So I gave it a 7.
Oh, I gave it a 6.5.
Okay.
I really liked it from the back, actually.
Yeah.
I think it was really
the back
cool.
was the best. I like the little, it's kind of like, almost like a backwards tuxedo.
It is. I really like that, and I love how it once again cinches in the waist, and then because this model's got a bit of a booty. We love big booty bitches. We love that. But yeah, just for the front was a little bit underwhelming for me. I think the cut at the top, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of neither here nor there. Like it's not high and it's not really cut low. So yeah.
Yeah, and I just think it was very kind of almost basic from the front, even though the pattern was interesting. It was just kind of like meh from the front, but from the back, I'm like, ooh, putty.
I think this was more interesting up close.
Yeah.
Because what he really did is he took this sequin fabric or whatever glitter fabric it is. He actually overlaid the black parts with a mesh.
Yeah. So that's, yeah.
So to me, that is a good attention to detail, and that's something I appreciate in designers, but it doesn't always come across on the runway.
Totally, yeah, I definitely agree with you. Moving on.
This one is Ma Jing. And he kind of had the same experience that Tasha did. So Tim comes in and gives him some direction, and he gets all flustered.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know what to do. And we've seen him do this before in
Yeah.
the UV challenge when he just kind of painted on all this stuff.
Yeah.
And this was a total fail for me.
I agree, yeah.
So we've got, okay, red. It's a good color to start with, but we've
Power,
got this
yeah.
super sweetheart neckline, which I just think is dated. And then he's got kind of this, I don't know, applique lace type of fabric that goes with it, but the lace kind of print
Yeah.
is too big, and so it's not really, it doesn't look even, or it doesn't look random. It just looks like weirdly placed. And I just, I feel so, I want Ma Jing. I want him to, like, succeed so much.
Yeah.
And I feel like he just keeps kind of tripping up.
Totally. Well, he's got the name, Ma Jing. That's all you have to call his, like his design house, House of Ma Jing.
Yeah.
Ma Jing. I thought it was, because I am a little bit backward with the sweetheart. I love it.
You like it. Okay,
I like
that's
it.
cool.
I love it. And I've always loved it.
It is a classic. It's just, for me, it's, a difference of opinion.
Yeah, but I felt like it was almost kind of 3 different looks all in kind of one. It was a bit scattered with his design, and I think that's just because he was thrown off a bit with Tim Gunn and didn't know how to execute in the end. But I gave it a 4, and I'm just happy that he's still in, because I thought he could have.
I gave it a 2.
Gave it a 2, yeah. I'm gonna give it a 3 actually, looking at it again. But I'm just glad he's in, because I really think he's got more to prove, and this wasn't.
I
his
think
best.
so too. Yeah.
Moving on.
So we've got Roberi, and
Missoni.
yeah, and it's a cool dress, but it's not cocktail whatsoever. This
Yeah.
is kind of like a daytime cool dress, but I mean, I gave it a 3 just because it's like, to me, you look in your closet and you don't have any cocktail dress, so you just throw something on, and then you just end up at the party, and
Yeah.
I guess that's how it goes.
I completely agree with you. I gave it a 4, but I did like the Missoni vibes. But aside from that, I could not. Everything you just said, I agree with.
Which I was really stunned, because I feel like Roberi kind of likes to do these couture techniques and play around, and he seems to like do really well at gowns and things. So I thought, this could be really cool, and then I'm like, I don't get his aesthetic from this at all.
Actually, that just reminds me, I don't know why. I was just thinking, because I just was thinking about designers and Missoni, because it reminds me a bit of a Missoni dress. I was actually hoping, bring it back to Erin, to see kind of something Jean-Paul Gaultier inspired.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking with the feathers. I think that's why I got so excited. I was thinking Beyonce at the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah, like that's what I was like. I was like, do format. Like, I'm just thinking Beyonce.
Yeah.
And then that was what I forgot to say about Erin. So I just wanted to say.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
It reminded me that I wanted to see Jean-Paul Gaultier. Yes. Okay, moving on. Who do we have next?
Dexter.
Dexter. What do you think of Dexter's?
So I like Dexter a lot.
Yeah.
I think, like, in the end, it's gonna be him and Laurence and Erin and maybe Ma Jing.
Yeah.
But I liked it a lot better in the workroom. So he kind of had like a more narrow fringe, and it was very long, and to me that was like sexy and dramatic.
Yeah.
So this just kind of looks like a Muppet, I guess.
Yeah.
It's all fringe on the top. So
Yeah.
and then it's kind of like that tight skirt underneath. It looks like those cheap, you go on Instagram and they have like those ads for like these cheap hoochie brands. There's like $20, bodycon dresses. Like that's what it looks like to me. So I was really disappointed because I think the color could have read more expensive.
Yeah.
If he would have used the fringe in a more thoughtful way, and I don't know why he just thought like I have to overdo this, because I think just with the simple high neck and the fringe, like even having that simple dress, I think it would have been like a lot more effective. He would have ended up on top.
I agree, because we love the fringe, because I love it, especially when
Yeah.
you're cocktail party and you're
Yeah.
dancing. We love the fringe to
I think
move.
he has a fringe thing because he also did that white fringe jacket, which I love.
Yeah, I like the fringe, but I think I think you nailed it there, and it just I think she does look good overall, but I think it's got a lot to do with the model. I think he lucked in with the model because it really works well with her skin tone. I love the hair down. I love her lip. Overall, I actually think she looks good, but it's only because of the overall look. If I then break it down and really look at the design.
I think her hair down kind of messes with the fringe for me.
Oh, no, I liked it. Yeah.
So, but I gave it a 4. I just thought it had a lot of potential, but it didn't live it up.
Same. I gave it a 4.5.
Okay.
We almost done now. Who else do we have?
That's it?
That's it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so, what did you think of the final results? We saw Jenny go home, and
Jenny won.
no, sorry, Jenny didn't go home. Jenny won. Yes.
But I don't. Again, I love Jenny's dress, but I think Laurence deserved to win.
Yeah,
It was
totally,
just, like so up here, compared to everyone else. It was just a whole another league. Tasha goes home.
Yeah.
Which, I wish I could have seen more from her, but out of the 3, I think she was the one to go.
I agree,
so
yeah.
I do agree with the judges, but I was really sad.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of other people I'd rather pick.
Yeah. I was definitely on in agreement with you there. I thought, well, Laurence should have definitely won, and I didn't understand why she didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah. I'm like, what's going on? Yeah.
I thought I had it all I was like, I just assumed Laurence's Bentley dress is the winner, and then they are like Jenny, and I was like, what?
What? Yeah.
What?
What? Hold back. Yeah. But I actually agreed. I think it was. I wasn't ready to see Tasha leave, but it's.
But she kind of earned it in this situation.
Yeah. So what are you excited for next week? What are you hoping to see?
Next week, what's next week again?
Well, next week we actually have Alex coming in the studio, don't we?
We do.
Yes. So
Yep.
that'll be really fun. So he's going to break it down with all, with us.
I'm really excited. And I'm really mad that Tim didn't use his save on Alex. Why? Why, Tim, why?
Well-
what are you waiting for?
Well, I
if
said-
anybody deserves that save, it was Alex.
Well, I was thinking about the Gwen Stefani's, what you waiting for, what you waiting for? I can't sing. But then it's like, and $1 million contract, because I told you he's going to go on Fashion Startup.
Oh,
That's my
yes.
theory.
Yeah.
I've said it, and he's going to be mental.
We want him to, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I think there, yeah.
Right on. Okay. And what's next week?
I totally forget. I didn't watch the
can't
preview.
remember. I did, but I can't
I didn't watch it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm so into right now. I didn't even watch it. Yeah.
Right on. Well, I guess we'll find out.
And just quickly, who are you liking? Like, who's your favorite now? Because each week we kind of say our favorite. Who are you really rooting for? Who's your top?
My very top, I think, is Dexter.
Ah, there you go. Why?
I guess I feel like he has, Aaron's kind of like the given.
Yeah.
And so I feel like Dexter is like this kind of, he's really good, but he's the underdog.
Yeah.
And I feel like he has some really cool ideas that I want to see played out.
Cool. And who are you not liking? Who do you think's next to go?
Natalia
Yeah.
or possibly Brick. I really like Brick, but I think he doesn't have a grasp fully of what his identity is.
I just always think about the brick dress. Brick with the brick dress.
Yeah, that was great.
That was funny. My favorite is Laurence.
Yes,
Obviously,
she's great too.
I think as of last week, I just have said that's it. I'm rooting for you. But one I'm actually really rooting for, and I feel like you're the same here, is Mahjong.
I am really excited
I'm rooting for him. Like, I think he's got something, but I just can
hope
see
they
it.
put 4 people in the final, and I want it to be Mahjong, Dexter,
Aaron,
and Laurence.
Yeah.
Because I really want to see Mahjong have the time to put together a collection, because I think it could be amazing.
Yeah, so I'm like, it's when you feel like, even though he's older than me, and you take someone under your wing. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I kind of like you. I just want to kind of hug you and say, I want you to win.
We're rooting for him for sure. And Laurence, I really love too, and she's more my aesthetic, I think. Yeah. But maybe because I'm too familiar with that, I want to see something different. I don't know.
And then you're obviously a Dexter as well.
Yeah, but I love all 4 of those.
Yeah,
for different reasons.
Good. And I'm just I've found Jen a little bit disappointing the whole time, but today I know she delivered.
I feel like she's in the middle though.
Yeah.
And Rick, I don't know what to think about Rick.
Yeah.
Some stuff he makes, I'm like, ew, no.
Yeah.
But then some stuff I'm like, wow, that's really, interesting. Even, his butcher dress, I didn't love it, but I thought it was trying to do something different.
Totally, yeah.
And it was well made, really well made, and I think that...
I want drama. Next week I want 2 gone. I want a double elimination. I want a double, I really want a double. Because I like the drama of that. I want the stress in it. I want them to tell them all this is double elimination. Kill or be killed. Like, I really want the stress of that to come in.
Death round.
Death round. Kill, get rid of 2. And then one other week you might do a save. Because we like that, because when all the people are good,
Yeah.
But yeah, I want that. I want a double elimination next week.
Just for the drama.
Yeah, just for the drama. But anyway, thank you so much for a great show, Michelle Uberreste.
I love it.
Tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Uberreste, and my website is michelleUberreste.com.
Awesome. And how'd your sale go? Did you sell some things the other day?
I did, yeah. It was really good.
Yeah. So keep everyone updated when you've got new stuff or when you've got sales on.
Right on.
And you can find me on the Twitter at Dan Babic with an _ after Babic. Find me on the Instagram at Dan Babic. It's been a great show, and next week Alex is joining us. Woo! See you then, guys. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.